Hi, this is my ZX Spectrum. It has never worked well, it's very unreliable, and frankly after a few days of trying to make it work, I've ended up being a little bit tired of it. I think it might have a bad ROM, plus the cassette driver is very unreliable, and I really don't have the time now to dedicate to it. But if one day I can make it work good properly again, I'm gonna make a video with it. Meanwhile, this is my CPC464. I've had it for over a year now, and it has proven itself to be a very good and reliable computer. Except for a couple minor issues that I readily fixed, it has always worked well. And you know, like in relationships where you have to reciprocate, well, it's the same here. This has proven to be a fun and interesting computer at a very low price and effort, so I think I should reciprocate by being a good owner. And how should I be a good owner? Well, I'm going to fully take it all apart and thoroughly clean it. This is not going to be a very technical video because unlike most of the old tech that I have around here, this actually works. How bizarre is that? But because it's one of the few things that I have that actually work, I want to make it shine as much as possible. I did clean it a little bit the first when I got it, but still it's quite dirty. I mean, there's 35 years worth of dust between the keys. So if you want to see how this is all constructed and you want me to tell you a little bit about the history of this computer, please join me in this video. I'm not sure this is going to be a very interesting video, but hey, at least I get to practice my non-existent editing skills. The CPC464 was Amstrad's first computer, and it was released in 1984. This particular unit was manufactured a bit later, as we're going to see right now when I open it. Here we can see the main board of the computer, 80s style. On the top right we have the Z80 CPU, this one manufactured in 1986, and below is the ROM chip. This is the 40037, which is the Spanish version. Under this heatsink we have the gate array, which is a custom-made Amstrad ASIC which controls most of the board. Next to it we have the RAM chips, and on the left we have the I/O chip, the video controller, and on the bottom the very famous AI38912 sound chip, this one from 1988. It's worth noting that when this computer was released, it had an 8-year-old CPU. This computer is from 1984 and the Z80 from 1976. So that's one of the reasons it was a cheap computer at the time. It was using mainly 70s technology in the 80s. Now it's time to take every single key out of the keyboard. Now you can clearly see why there was a need to clean it. That's 3 decades worth of dust. And the only thing that's already clean is the arrow keys, because when I got the computer I thought about cleaning it, but I got lazy and I only cleaned the arrow keys. I don't really want to damage this label, so I'm going to put some film over it. Nice. I just realized watching the footage that the main board was very close to the sink and probably got splashed. Please don't do that at home. Now I'm going to get to the keys. I don't really feel like soaking them, so I'm just going to, they are only dirty on the sides, so I can just scratch the sides and it'll be great. See. So I'm going to do them with all of them. I'm going to do that with all of them. It's fun how today a spring operated keyboard would be considered a premium, and at that time you could just find it on every low-end computer. Now it's time to clean every tiny bit of the board. You might argue it's not actually necessary because, who's gonna see it when the computer is assembled? But you know, it's an old board. It's in very good working condition, so it kind of deserves to be pretty. Beautiful result, nice and shiny. Now I'm going to do the same for the cassette unit. I'm going to take it out of the computer and I'm going to clean the dust out. I don't want to really take it all apart because the first time I got the computer, the cassette unit was not working properly, so I had to fully disassemble it. And it's full of very tiny mechanical pieces that it's certainly difficult to reassemble. I had to go through that once, I don't want to go through that again. So, it's time to put the keys back to the keyboard. It's quite a satisfying thing to do actually. And I had to print the keyboard layout in order to put the keys at the right position. I could not use the phone because that's what I'm using for recording. In order to clean all the dust it's very stuck in the grating and the cassette unit, I decided to use an old toothbrush. And it's quite efficient actually. Finally, the last thing we have to clean is the cassette door, which as you can see it's very dirty between the window and the frame. Here I had a little problem because when trying to put the screw down the hole, it would get stuck on the speaker's magnet. And it was not possible to put first the screw and then the speaker. So in the end I made a paper cylinder, so in order to keep the screw in the right line. So that was it. Nice and shiny. It's ready to go for another 30 years. One of the things I like to do is to make an expansion board for this. Cassette loading, yeah, it's fun, it has its special charm, I won't deny it, but it's not really practical. However, now I don't really have the time to dedicate to it, but if one day I have it, I'm certainly going to do it. Thank you very much for watching.